Hello, guys. This is Shaw. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for returning. Now, this is my quick overview of last night's episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Starting off with the continuation of Nell and Tisha. They actually stop talking across from each other and kind of go off to the side with just them to really hash it out or get clarity about the beef that Nell feels that Tisha has with her. Now, in Tisha's defense, which is rare, I never really have a defense for her, but in Tisha's defense, I agree that if I heard from someone else that the person referred to me as their mentee or said that, what's your relationship with Shar, and they say, oh, I'm her mentor. And that's something that we have completely and totally not discussed. Never have that come up, yada, yada, yada. I would be concerned about that. And I would want to ask the person, like, why you tell her you was my mentor? Like, we ain't never even talk about no mentor, this or that, and mentor of what? You know what I mean? Now, I do feel that Miss Nell probably is referring to the whole marriage relationship situation and life with a man and going through the ups and the downs with the man, because when they first met, they had that sit down when they were talking about why didn't the Scotts invite them to the Black Expo, and that they've been business owners for well over 20 years and yada, 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 right? That's when they had their first sit down. And Nell was saying that she felt as though Tisha wanted to talk to her, more in depth about maybe relationships and husbands, and when you feel like your husband is cheating, or if your husband has cheated, since Nell does have that experience because Chris cheated on her way back when. So she did feel like Tisha really wanted to talk to her more, but it did not happen. So maybe that's what Nell is referring to, and the reason why she said I'm her mentor or whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure, but because I don't even remember what the heck Nell said in response to Tisha asking her, why did you tell her you was my mentor? We ain't even talk like that. We're building a friendship. I don't know nothing about you being my mentor, and I'm not your mentee. So I kind of agree with Tisha on that for the first time. And well, actually, I agree with Tisha on two things from this episode, but moving on from there. So they kind of went back and forth with that. I don't know if they actually really resolved it, but moving on, we go to Marceau actually having a conversation with Stormy and her husband, Courtney. Marceau is pretty much saying to Stormy, like, it was weird. I agree with my wife that it was weird that we got a text from you guys inviting us to the party. And Stormy immediately says, well, hey, I don't hold any grudges. I don't really have beef with Tisha. It's all good. Bygones be bygones. I don't hold on to things. It's all good. And Marceau is hell bent on saying, like, look, I mean, it was weird. You guys went back and forth during the reunion, saying some harsh things. Stormy is saying, hey, your wife came at me hard, and I believe Tisha came at her hard because back last season, Stormy approached Tisha like, I don't really appreciate the way that you handled that whole business thing when your graphic designer copy and pasted my company return policy and PO box address and all this stuff on your website. And the most Tisha had to say about it was, hey, I got paid from it, so I'm good. They made a lot of money, and she didn't really have any remorse for, like, dang, it is a mix up. I don't want to mix the two, make the public think we have any partnership or whatever as it relates to business. Plus, Stormy is like, I got my own problems as it relates to my business with the shipping and customers not getting their stuff. Plus, a lot of my vendors are suing me, blah, 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 blah. Whatever she's thinking in her head. And the best Tisha was like, well, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't know my graphic designer was going to do that. And we made a lot of money from it. So whatever. So Stormy basically didn't like that. And she basically thought she handled that wrong. And, she was just like, ugh. So after that, they tried to make amends again and have another little couples date where they met at some little place where they can play pool. And Stormy got with her, acting, I don't want to say shitty, but she was kind of acting bold and kind of throwing jabs, and they was kind of like, dang, why you invite us to go off on us or dog us out or whatever. So that was really the last. And then the reunion, well, actually the reunion was the last thing, and then the reunion. So Tisha had all that kind of energy because of the last interaction that they had. Stormy was coming at her. So during the reunion, Tisha, I guess, decided to go at her, and the infamous go pop some pills and pay your bills. So that is why they're so dumbfounded to get a invite, which again, I'm gonna have to agree with Tisha and Marceau on this one. Wouldn't you, as far as Stormy goes, wouldn't you want to have a conversation with her, like one-on-one, to get clarity on why she called you that? And why you mentioning she owe money and need to pay her invoices and all of that. I was pissed off at you because you were kind of just blasé as it related to my business and how it looked for your business to have my information on it. Like, that's major. This is my business, my livelihood, and I kind of was mad at you for responding like that. Like, you just didn't give a dang, or, So, I mean, Stormy could have had that conversation with her and just came at her in that way. I don't know if that would have helped or made Tisha agree or see her wrongs, because just like Tisha husband says all the time, she never takes accountability, and she doesn't. So, yeah. But the fact that you just up jump and invite them, it is weird. And it's a trip that you think that they was going to actually come, which I guess they are coming. I mean, they, as far as I know, they didn't say that they weren't going to go on last night's episode. So I guess they are going to go. So yeah. But they were standing there talking about it. Courtney was basically saying, you take up for your wife, I take up for mine. That's normal. That's how it's supposed to be done. And he's basically reiterating, if I didn't want you guys to come, y'all wouldn't have came. Y'all wouldn't have got an invite, rather. They're basically saying it's the olive branch, take it or leave it or whatever. Y'all hold grudges or whatever. But yeah, I think that's weird, Stormy. You could have at least called a woman and said, let's have a talk before I invite you. And then if the talk had went well, then you say, well, I'm having a party. I would like it if you guys come or whatever. You know what I mean? But if the talk didn't go well and she was still on some different ish, then you could have been like, forget it. I'm not even going to invite them. You know what I mean? That's how I think it should have went. But hey, Stormy does what Stormy does. So what else? I will talk about Martell and the new child. Is it Latrice? Forgive me if it's not Latrice. Y'all know the thoughts I got on Latrice. The jury's still out on her for me. However, I do feel for her for her losses and all that. I'm not discounting any of that and how that took a toll on her mental. I get it. I'm mainly focusing on her marriage and her current relationship and how she's moving with that. That is crazy to me that this woman, excuse me, has been married, I think she said 18 years. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I think that's what she told Dustin, because she did an interview with Dustin on Carlos King's YouTube channel. And I could have swore the woman said she was married anywhere between 15 and 18 years. But they've been separated for, I think she said 5 years or 3 to 5 years they've been separated, but have not even started the paperwork for the divorce. Huh? Why? Okay, I can understand if you wasn't in a relationship and it's just like, which each day you put it off, and after a while you just don't even think about it anymore, even though that's something in your back of your head you got to do. I get it. But once you got in a relationship and thought like, okay, this is serious, when you want to go get that resolved. But hey, I know people have issues, mentally and emotional stigmas and hangups where they can't cut things off, or um, they can't cut things off, or they hate to say goodbyes, or they hate change, or they hate finalizing things. Sometimes that can be like emotional and mental issues, for lack of a better way of saying it. And I'm not saying this is her thing, but she did say she had an emotional shutdown after all of her people passed, which is understandable. So maybe it's just something about cutting something off or completely getting rid of something. She can't do it. That might be a cop out or whatever, but I mean, it's possible. It's possible if you know anything about mental health. You know what I mean? So maybe that's her deal. However, I feel like she should have a better way of explaining all this stuff. A short version of it. Because when the clique, Kimmy, all of them, they get to mail, all of them get to sitting around and asking her, trying to get to know her. Are you married? Just be like, well, I am married. However, I've been separated for 5 years or 3 years, whatever it is, and since then I am in a relationship, but I'm going to finalize it. Now that I know it's serious with me and my man now, or me and my boyfriend now, I am going to finalize the divorce. Clean cut and dry. People ain't looking at you weird. People not looking at you sideways. People not looking confused, because that was a clean cut and dry answer. And it's like, boom, they get it. She married. She's been separated for 5 years. She's in a relationship now. She sees it's serious. Now she about to go ahead and get it finalized and get a divorce. Boom. But she'd be like, I'm married, but I'm not married, and I'm married, but I have a man, and, but I'm separated, but we never did get the paperwork. It's like, girl, you making it confusing. You making it confusing, and you just making it just more drama filled. That's why people looking at you like, huh, what? Not to mention, once the woman said separated, in my head, it's like, oh, okay, she been separated for 3 years, or she been separated for 5 years. I can't remember which one she said. If you guys remember, if it's 3 years or 5 years she's been separated, drop down in the comments. But for me, once a person said, oh, she's separated, it's like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, even though she is married still on paper, the woman has been separated from this man for however long. That means they're not living in the house together. Hopefully, I'm assuming they don't really have any daily, weekly communication like that. They've been literally separated for 3 years or 5 years or whatever, 4 years or whatever it is. She don't really have a relationship currently with the husband. They're separated. You get what I'm saying? That's how I think of it in my head. So it ain't all like that for me. It's like, oh, she is still married on paper, but she's separated. And during that separation, she obviously then got with this man. So now this is the current person that she's with. Why she haven't gotten a divorce in all this time, God only knows. But, to me, once she said she was separated, that's like, oh, okay, well, she's separated. That means she's in a whole nother relationship with someone else, even though legally she's still married. And it ain't all confusing like that to me, how they're acting. Everybody is all up in ahs or whatever. But again, in their defense, she does explain it where it's confusing, like, because she married, she not married, but she divorced, but I mean, not divorced, but separated. I'm in a relationship. This is the so the way she explains it, I feel like makes it like people get all up in arms, like, ooh, what's going on, but yeah, when she says she's separated, it's like, oh, okay. Because I know when you separated from somebody, now you have not the right necessarily, but you have that space to go be with somebody, especially if you're not planning on reconciling the marriage with the person that you was married to. But whatever. So that's that on that. I want to jump right into because I don't want this video to be long, but I want to jump right into, and I think I'm going to cut it here so it won't be long, but I'm going to jump right into Latrice being in the gym with Martell, which was a trip, y'all. That was a trip. Would you agree? Put a trip in the comments. That whole scene was a trip between them two. Now, mind you, I have not seen this much personality and teeth and just joy, like joy in her voice, from Latrice, or whatever her name is. I have not seen that much joy in her voice and in her demeanor, and seen that much personality from her since she's been on the show. Correct me if I'm wrong. Have y'all, like, this is the most happiest and joyful and upbeat, more personality I've seen from her since she's been on the show, when she was in the gym with Martell. So I'm going to have to agree with Stormy that she got an affection for Martell. I don't care. He could hit. Period. Point blank in the period. And oh boy, whatever her boyfriend's name is, I don't forget his name. Ken, I think. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but Ken, you better watch out. Okay? Because a few more sessions or a few more times this child is around Martell, I think he could hit. Period. I do. And don't let no alcohol be involved. Don't let her throw back a couple of wines or a couple of champagnes. That's all the reason why she could use that as an excuse. She was drunk. Or if they drink that Boone's Farms that Martell got, and this, he say, what is it, a 13 or 15 point something alcohol rate or whatever. That's all they need, right? He could hit. I'm sorry. Girl next door, hurt by the parents, the deaths of her family member, all that. He can hit. I don't give a what nobody say. She was too happy, too giddy. She wore her booty shorts. Did you see her outfit? All the while she's been wearing, I was going to say nice workout outfits, but they have not really been nice. It just look like some twos and fews she's putting together. They're not like really sets, bought together sets. It just look like she pull a top from here and pull a bottom from there and put them together or whatever. They don't never look like clean, crisp cut actual workout sets, bright, pretty colors, pink, purple, whatever. They just look like some things she been had and she puts them together. And same with this outfit. However, it was some booty shorts, that's clenching her thighs and hips, got her booty pronounced, and that's how she wanted to look. Period. That's what she wanted to show. That was the imagery she wanted Martell to see, and hurt from a lot of death or not. That's what time it was for her. That's what she wanted Martell to see. And again, she was very, very adamant with him. She was talking. She was personable. She was friendly, and she was giddy. Was she not? Am I lying? Like, I was like, dang, And so Martell is good. He's a womanizer. He knows his stuff. He knows he's attractive. And most men know when they can get with a woman or get at her, or they can, they got the that sense that she's into me or she wants me. And flipped it. Same thing. Women can know when a man is into them and want them and all this and that. Right? So, yeah, he knows. He knows. And he knew. He sensed it. And that's why he started tripping. Martell got into actor mode. Like, he was on 10 with all this animated mess. Oh, this and all that. And Chris told me about you. And then won't tell her what Chris told him. Which Chris probably ain't told him nothing. Or maybe Chris did. But I don't think Chris told him nothing. I don't think Chris told him nothing, to be totally honest. But, he's just playing with her mind, like playing with her, getting her all gussied up for something later to come. Possibly. You know what I mean? But, he get her all inquisitive. What do you say? Da, da, da. And they going back and forth. I don't even know what they was talking about. I would have to actually look at the scene again, because they were going back and forth quite a bit not really about nothing real solid, but just going back and forth. That's what I'm saying. They was bouncing off of each other, which was a trip, which made it obvious that, like, he can hit, and he knows it, and that's why he was going back and forth with her like that. You guys drop down comments and tell me what you think about that scene. All right, I'm gonna cut it here because I don't want to keep it too long. Please drop down in the comments. I do talk back. Like the video, subscribe, and until next time, bye.